Nintendo and the Pokémon Company invited me all the way to Paris, the real-life version of Lumio City, for an exclusive hands-on preview with Pokémon Legends Z-A. We're talking a full hour of gameplay, beyond what we've seen so far with the public demos at PAX and Pokémon Worlds. There is so much to talk about. Let's start from the beginning. After a long 9.5-hour flight, me and a bunch of other content creators meet outside of the Eiffel Tower. Which, can we just take a second? If you were to have told me that my first time getting to see the Eiffel Tower in person was because I would be playing a Pokemon game at the top of it, I would not have believed you. There was something so magical about going up the elevator. It really made me reminisce about my first time going into Prism Tower in X and Y, and you're going up the floors as you make your way over to Claymont to eventually battle him. Once we arrived into the preview room, each of us was given a room key prop with a number and character on it to help us know which demo station would be ours to use. The whole space was decorated with character cutouts, a cute little terrace that really looked like the same kinds of tables we saw in a previous Legends Z-A trailer, and Pikachu even made an appearance for us. The staff explained to us that our gameplay session would be split up into 4 parts: exploring the wild zones, entering the Z-A Royale at night, a promotion battle with Rintaro, and lastly, a battle with Rogue Mega Evolution Victory Bell. I wish you could have heard the group gasp when we found out that was going to be our battle. With our instructions clear, it was time for us to get our hands on the game and explore within the bounds that we were given. As a quick heads up, I was not allowed to record any of my own personal gameplay footage for this preview, but Pokemon was kind enough to provide the B-roll that you have been seeing in this video, and I've also been splicing in a little bit of trailer footage from previous trailers to help connect all of my experiences together. Okay, Wild Zones. Let's talk about them. I know you're all probably wondering, does Lumio City feel small? One of the first things that I felt immediately walking into those wild zones was just how big the city buildings and the roads are compared to your character. I think the devs did a really nice job with scaling the city to make you actually feel like you're exploring a huge place. The use of vertical space also plays a large role here. Being able to climb up buildings and jump across rooftops added a lot of extra places to explore and opportunities to run into more Pokemon. For anyone who is worried about this game not feeling as expansive as its predecessor, Legends Arceus, I am happy to report that personally, I'm optimistic that there will be no shortage of nooks and crannies to be able to explore. With that said, let's talk about battling wild Pokemon. There were so many new details that I was able to appreciate during this session. For example, take a look at this battle with Houndour. One small detail that I noticed is if you knocked out a Pokemon, you actually still have a few seconds to catch it before it disappears. No more worrying about accidentally KOing a Pokemon with a stronger move than anticipated. Maybe we won't even need a False Swipe Pokemon. Though I would be curious to find out and experiment once the full game comes out, if there would still be good reason to have a False Swipe Pokemon on your team. Assuming that move is in the game, I'm not sure. Another thing that I noticed was that priority moves still exist even within the real-time battle system. Using a move like Aqua Jet or Quick Attack has a faster execution time and would attack before my opponent would finish their attack. Some moves, like Whirlwind, have this push effect that move Pokemon further away from you. I noticed that depending on the size of Pokemon getting pushed, larger Pokemon wouldn't get pushed as far as the smaller Pokemon would. And some moves, like Gyarados' Whirlpool, are AoE, which was especially helpful when I got jump scared by an Alpha Houndoom who came out from nowhere to start attacking me, and then before I knew it, there were 2 or 3 Pokemon that were all trying to attack me at once. Whirlpool was clutch for that. Oh, and you heard me right. Alpha Pokemon are making a return, and they are just as terrifying as I remember them to be. At one point, I just jumped to the top of a rooftop just to be able to avoid this Houndoom. Eventually, I would feel good enough to go back to it, but I was wanting to explore without being rudely interrupted, Houndoom. Speaking of rooftops, I did not expect to enjoy jumping between the different rooftops as much as I did. You know, I thought it was really briefly glanced over in some of the earlier trailers that we saw before I had a chance to do this session, but I kind of feel like Spider-Man when I get to do it, so had a lot of fun with the rooftops, and I'm looking forward to being able to just play and explore the entire area and not just the Wild Area 6 spot that I was able to explore during this session. Oh, and I definitely cannot forget to let you know about my brief experience with the character customization. If you know me, you would know I live for character customization, and Pokemon X being the first game where you can really change your character's clothes at a Pokemon game was a core memory for me back in 2013. So I have been hyped because I knew that Kalos would not disappoint getting to see beautiful styles, all the beautiful French-inspired looks, and more fun outfits. I was not disappointed. I can only imagine what the full list of outfits is going to be like just from the little bits that I got to try on and see in person with my own eyes. I'm going to be in my happiest place ever. I can't wait. Anyway, that's my tangent on that. Now, let's move on to our next segment, the Z-A Royale. For those of you who have seen any of the public demo, this part might be a bit familiar to you, as you get to fight the trainers in the Z-A Royale during the public demo as well. However, as I ran around, I noticed these blue holographic cards I could pick up, and I'm pretty sure that those weren't in the demo. These cards gave you extra challenges like immediately knock out unaware opponents with your first move. It reminded me a lot of Blueberry quests from Scarlet and Violet DLC, only this time for battling trainers, which I think is a pretty cool twist. If you ended up picking one up, they would show up in this spot right here. I thought overall this was a really fun way to spice up the battles as you work your way up to your promotion match. All of the battles are against other trainers who are at the same rank as you, and in my case, I started at rank W for this session. Once I collected enough battle points for my promotion match, it was time to start the next section of the preview, battling Rintaro and ranking up to rank V. I don't really have too much to say about this guy so far, other than I support his dreams at opening a really great restaurant one day, and the fact that he's using the elemental monkeys confirms their existence for the first time on a Switch game, so yay, that's cool. I still think there's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to maneuvering around, but I gotta say, the new battle system is so refreshing to experience as a veteran Pokemon player. Last but not least, we have to talk more about the battle with Mega Victory Bell. After this battle, I was convinced that Absol has to be the first Pokemon, or very early in the beginning, that you fight, because Mega Victory Bell was so much more difficult and so much fun. As I got into the battle, I was reminded about plus moves. Basically, you can use energy from your Mega Ring to boost a singular Pokemon move as opposed to fully Mega Evolving. Every Pokemon can utilize a plus move, while not every Pokemon can Mega Evolve. Mega Evolved Pokemon will automatically have all of their moves set to plus moves. I like that this feature boosts all Pokemon, especially because you never know. I bet some of my favorite Pokemon might not end up getting a Mega Evolution, but this makes it feel like they can still do really powerful damage and I can buff them in a way that's still pretty cool. It's not Mega Evolution cool, but at least it feels nice. Mega Victory Bell then comes out swinging with Bullet Seed, and Victory Bell is aiming right at the player's head. I was fearing for my life. Shortly after that, Victory Bell starts summoning these giant poison sludge piles, and these are what made this fight truly difficult. I was so close to beating Mega Victory Bell on my first try, and then I accidentally backed into a poison pile, and then had to do this fight again. The silver lining to my bitter defeat is I was able to see what happens if you get KO'd during a rogue Mega Evolution battle. Woohoo! It was for content all along, right? The game will end up asking you if you would like to restart the battle from the beginning or if you would like to start from a point further into the fight. I really appreciated this feature, especially because at the time I was playing it, I had very limited time. I think if I had to start the Mega Victory Fell fight all over from the beginning, I don't know if I would have beaten it in time, which would have felt so bad. Plus, I'm more than happy to wait until the full game comes out to do any sort of self-imposed challenges, like trying to beat all the Rogue Mega Evolution Pokemon without the game going easy on me. All in all, I had such a blast previewing a little bit more gameplay of Pokémon Legends Z-A, and I could not be more excited for October 16th. I love this new direction of Pokemon trying to change up the typical formula while also staying within the universe that we all know and love. Of course, I'll have to wait for the full game to come out to give my true, honest thoughts and a proper review, but has this preview hyped me? Oh, absolutely it has. I seriously can't thank Pokemon enough for this insane opportunity, getting to play Pokemon Legends Z-A while on the trip of a lifetime. It's going to be a memory that I carry with me for a very long time. Seriously, Pokemon, Nintendo, thank you both so much for having me. And if all of you who are watching want to hear me talk a little bit more about my trip to Paris, my raw feelings and reactions coming out of playing the demo for the first time, the new podcast that I host with my good friend Agent V, Baton Pass Podcast, will be having a new episode drop this Friday, where we'll be chatting to you live from Paris, all while our thoughts are fresh in our heads. Go over there and subscribe so you don't miss it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe over here too, because you bet we're gonna have so much Pokemon Legends Z-A once the game comes out. And that's it from me. Have a really wonderful day. Bye!